Hi all, it's my pair. Welcome to the presentation and demo of Sensor Stability Channel. Sensor Stability Channel is the part of QCS Performance Services. Apart from sensor stability, there are three more channels. Those are VPA, control utilization, and transition. But in this session, we will cover about the sensor stability. This session will be mostly consist of 20 minutes explanation about of the solution, which includes the objective, scopes, benefits of the sensor stability as well as service port. And then we have a live demo of 10 minutes approx, in which I'll be navigating through the different views the service port has. We can also inspect the dashboards. We can see how the track rules can be look like and how those can be generated for the proactive alerts. We can see how to generate some reports and how to create a new track rules as well. So why we need the service port system or any analytic system now? In the past, less data was available to be analyzed. So if you take the first example, if there is an issue among 8 units, you can find it relatively quickly, or you can do it in the manual way. But now there are thousands of data points. Our performance channels continuously scan all data points to more easily find the needle in the haystack and solve the problem faster. So it is very easy to find a solution if you have any analytic system to detect these things. It improves the problem solving. It avoid any false positive if it is there, so it reduce the error and it's very easy to find it. If you see, it's like a conical vessel, you feed all type of data, and instead of browsing through all type of data, you can only see the actionable item which you should be focused about. So no need to navigate all type of data into day-to-day activities. So you can just see what type of actions you need to take it and directly attack it, and it will save the time a lot. This is the service port. A service port is a secure remote enabled service delivery platform that allows user to view, scan, and track the key performance indicators to ensure maximum performance of equipment and process, resulting in higher operation efficiency. So the key functionality of the service port is view, scan, track, predictive alerts, and the reporting. We will have a look on each functionality one by one in the coming slides as well as in the demo. ABB QCS Performance Service Channel is accessed through the ABB Service Port. This is a service delivery platform. It will be deployed at your location. You can view and operate the channel through a web-based window that is easily accessible by the team member of your choosing. With the ABB QCS Performance Services channel, you get the advantage of continuous monitoring and data analysis to greatly reduce the time and effort needed to identify any variabilities, any issues related with the sensor, any control related issue. So this data, whatever has been collected, is specific, having the specific KPIs to provide a list of problematic items that are then prioritized based on the severity, process areas, etc. These analysis lead to more informed, more responsive decision making by your team, resulting in better performance and utilization. So why we have a QCS? So in today's production environment, paper makers basically mostly depends on the quality control system equipment for the daily operation of their paper machine. To maximize the production throughput and the quality, the QCS must be performing at the peak efficiency. We can't afford to have a QCS shut most of the time. So when controls are not tuned or left in manual, or the sensors are not working, or some maintenance issue is going on, or there is some unscheduled downtime, which will result in a loss of production. So these all issues are addressed by the QCS performance services by continuously analyzing the sensor performance, control utilization, the wheel VPS to improve the production at lower cost for the paper maker. So these are the key benefits of the service port and the QCS performance services. So it improves the production uptime by reducing your machine downtime or the equipment downtime. It accelerates the problem solving for sensor stability, even the control utilization, process variability, and the grade changes. It saves time and money if you have the quick analysis of all the data. So instead of spending a lot of time to analyze those data, you can directly browse through the KPIs, you can see the high priorities, and then you can take the necessary action. It identifies the opportunity to improve the measurement. So if you have any gap in the performance, then it can be identified through the channels, and those can be filled to make it more accurate. It reduces the response time and the travel expenses. Like if you have any issues, then system can be navigated through the remote and can be analyzed. So it reduces the time and reduces the response time as well to solve any issues. It increases the availability of the system. Exactly when the system will, when you know when the system is going to get impacted, so automatically the availability will get improved. So overall benefit will be like you will be having good production, sellable paper, and most of the time your equipment will be running and up. This session, as I told you earlier, will be covering about only the sensor stability. So why we need a sensor stability channel? So when we visit a customer site as a service engineer or as sales representative, the customer will report some of the issues like the sensors, it breaks randomly. They don't have much data, like when it's going to fail. It takes long time for the troubleshooting because maybe the sometimes the data is not available or the lack of information we have. There was no preventive maintenance mechanism for the scanner. Like they don't know what action need to be done and what need to be scheduled in most of the cases. So QCS sensor channels also monitor scanner parameters at each standardized. It can be like voltage, it can be like top pressure, bottom pressure, heated temperatures, etc. So sensor standardized values are monitored and those are then analyzed to the peak operating conditions. Then those trends can be analyzed for the preventive maintenance or that can be used to generate some proactive alerts as well. So as you can see here in the trend, each data point is the actual standardized value for the selected sensor parameter. Standardize is online calibration of each QCS that occurs every 30 to 60 minutes based on the type of paper machine or based on the configuration what we have done. QCS system has ability to detect when any standardized sensor parameter is outside of specific limit and will notify operator when sensor standardize has exceeded a limit. QCS sensor performance can be used to identify when sensor parameter is likely to exceed the limit in the near future and can help identify a further failure or the future failure by generating some alerts. So this is one of the example, like it's like a caliper trend and it's the value of sensor row 0. So one of the customer observed like the standardized values were keep on increasing. This because of the pitch buildup on the caliper shoe, and that has addressed that it has need a cleaning and the operator has forgot to clean the sensor, so it has notified an alert which address to the customer that the sensor needs a cleaning and it may fail in the coming standardize. So this is how a KPI view or what we say is an event view look likes. So in this view, you will have multiple scanners. Like if you have a 5 scanners, you have a 5 scanners view over here. And if you have some 2 scanners, then the 2 scanners views are there. Then you have the sensors classified based on the scanner, like the SP1 scanner is associated with some 8 type of sensors, then all type of sensors are displayed here with their KPIs values and their signals. So we have basically 3 type of KPIs on the sensor stability. So these are short-term drift, out of range, and long-term drift. So what does it signifies and how it helps? So out of range is nothing, is like the sensor fails or it just calculates the value which are outside the standardized limits. So it get triggers when the sensor have violated the range what has been assigned. So in this screenshot there is 20A and it's like 69%. So overall what it tried to say is the sensor has crossed the limit 208 times, almost like if it has gone standardized for 300 times. So These range may be different what you have configured in the service workstation or in the sensor stability channel. You can keep the same or you can make it different, like you can make some soft range so that you will get a alert before it fails to the system. So if you see, it's a nominal value is 45 and range is plus minus 10. So out of range signifies that this value is like below 35 or more than 55. Another KPI is the short-term drift. If the value is within the limits but has moved up or down by more than half of the range compared to the last trend rise. And the third one is the long-term drift. In this case, if the value is within the limit but based on the slope of last 50 standard rise value, it is predicted that it will hit a limit. It can be a lower and the upper one within a set of number of standard rise, and it will be triggered. So as you can see, the long-term drift is 60 and the value is 30%. So 30% signifies that it's going to hit the limit in the next 60 standard rise. If the value is 60%, it signifies that it will hit a limit in next 45 standard rise. If you have a long-term drift KPI of 100%, then it signifies that it's going to hit the limit within next 15 to 20 standard rises. So this is one of the example of the service port track rules, how the track rules created to generate a proactive alert. The service port track rules allow user to create conditional rules to monitor the analysis result of each channel. Each time a rule is violated, an event is recorded in the database, and for the each rule violation, it can be viewed on the event view, or even it can be created an alert to send it via to the mailbox. So how it identifies a predictive failure identification. So it's one type of example of an Hemi plus sensor where the KPI has been set for more than 10. So as we know, Hemi plus sensor will start losing its value when the gain reaches to the 12. So custom and the Hemi plus was keep on coming and the gain was maintaining at the 8. So customer has created a value of the notification proactive alert of 10. When the value is greater than 10, then customer gets a mail, then you require a assistance in the for the replacement of the sensor, workout on the replacement or for the maintenance of the sensor. So this is a Pareto view. So if you see, this is a similar case, a size space moisture gain is high. This has been triggered almost 46 times, maybe in a date of range of 45 days or 2 months or 3 months, which has been monitored. And these are the other issue which has been monitored, but those priorities are little bit less, like those are triggered only 4 times or 5 times. So major area of concern is this one because it's been triggered most of the time. So by this trend, how we will come to know that, okay, this sensor may be going to fail soon. So we can ensure that the parts which needs a replacement was in stock, or we can make a schedule corrective action during a downtime. Like if we are going to have a shutdown time in next coming week, we can call an ABB engineer, or we can have some activities prepared to be carried out during the shutdown to save the time. So this is the track summary. The track summary screen shows all trends being monitored and allows user to choose the specific trends to analyze further. If for instance, a trend appears to be outside desired operating parameters. So there are three types of severities are there: high, medium, and low. So red is high, yellow is medium, and blue is low. So we do have a log view which will be prioritized or can be filtered based on the low, medium, and high. The track rules were created, and based on that we can classify and we can just have a look which has been triggered in the recent time. We can adjust it like a date range. If you want to see the logs for last 1 month or 2 months, it can be filtered using the range. It can be filtered using the priorities. And this is the template of an email, how it looks like when a parameter is exceeded. So once you wake up, you will have a track rule violations list. So you know what actions needs to be taken when you are at the client site in the morning, and what has been happened overnight or in the daytime with the scanner. So you are well versed, ready with the action items. This is the contour plot figures. It provides the visualization of the sensor KPIs average for each weekly analysis. The x-axis designates the time period with start date on the right side and the end date on the left side. A dark region here indicates a problem area and a lighter to the white region indicates a controller that is very close to the meeting the nominal limit. So as you can see, it's a 15 is been highlighted here. So it's throughout the time. This is very high and some of the time it is low. So 15 is a sensor zero gap. So this is the parameter which has been triggered most of the times and it needs an higher attention. It's like a color indication which will be easily distinguished in terms of action to be taken. The service port channels of the sensor stability also contains a severity bar chart. It provides a summary of the top 12 sensor parameters with limit or drift issues. The severity provides an average of the KPI. 0 means good and 100 means bad over the specific time period, and the percentage value indicates the number of event occurrence. Reports provide some kinds of feedback with a greatly expanded data set, which increases the ability to identify the problems. So this can be generated with more detailed result and we can submit to the customer with analysis. And it is very helpful to have them our observation in the corrective actions which has been required. So this is just like a data flow how the sensor stability channel works. So once we have the order, we'll visit to the customer site. We'll verify whether the scanner branch on QC connectivity server, Accurate object server or Merlin it's available. We'll verify the connectivity with the VM by installing a service port channel. We will install a data logger and we will verify the communication with the connectivity, whether we can able to browse the AOS Accurate object server or the Merlin. Once the communication was, we'll create a tag list. But basically, those are the standard tag lists like the scanner name, the channel, the type of sensors and the signals. Once the tag list has been created, we will create a logger sessions. It can be multiple logger sessions based on the scanner. If we have 5 scanners, then there will be 5 logger sessions. We'll wait for 1 hour. Why we wait for 1 hour? Because we need to wait for one standardized to get occurs. Once the standardized occurs, we will verify the data, whether the data has been collected and those data are good. Based on the data, then we will create a config file. So this config file creates, it has the data of the standardized parameters. We can configure it based on the existing service workstation limits or based on the new data limits which can be used. So once the config file is created, we will verify that config file and then we will create a task scheduler. Task scheduler basically it will keep on checking the new files and for the analyze purpose. Then we'll validate the channel operations. Once the channel operations is validated, the service port is ready to use. We can set some track rules or proactive alerts on the same time if we know if we have some known issues, or we can wait for 15 days data or 20 days data to set up the track rules. Even it can be set it up later as well. So it's a service port is a secure gateway between the ABB services and experts and the customer equipment in the process. So these are the basically some of the service port analytics services like loop performance, sensor stability, VPA, utilization, transition. So this is a secure gateway between the outer world. This is the customer enabled. So whatever the access has been provided by the customer, that only can access it. So if there is a global team which will be available to see the track rule if in case of there any problem, and there will be a local team like a customer and ABB which have the on-site access to the service port dashboards analytics engine. They will be getting the proactive alerts and they'll be first to notify it. If the problem needs some attention from the global expert, then it can be reached easily and thus can be shared the details with the global expert for the support services and remote troubleshooting. Now let's have a look on the sensor stability channel demo. So this is the overview. as you can see, it contains many channels like cybersecurity, low performance, control utilization. So if you are going to have 4 channels, then no need to buy 4 types of service port. All 4 channels can be configured in a single service port. And if not configured, those won't be visible here. Those can be disabled. So here we'll just go through the sensor stability data view. So as I explained to you, so this is the a raw data of the sensors which is been captured on every standardized. Each data point signifies a data of each standardized. So if you go through, you have a hourly view, weekly view, monthly view, quarterly view, and yearly view. So we can have a data of almost an year here, or maybe for further, depends on the storage size and the skills what we need it. So we have a time range, like if you go to the monthly view, the time range will be shown for the monthly data. If we go for the weekly view, we have a weekly view. And these are the all sensors associated with the smart platform 1, and these are the sensors associated with the smart platform 2. And these are the signals which will change based on the sensors. So these are the standardized signals which has been monitored for the peak monitoring conditions. This can be used as a data point, and then you can just like look at the trend also. And if you uncheck this one, the non-zero data points will go away. If you think the service port is down or dial-up connection is not working and it will create a problem for you analyzing, then you can just check it and the non-zero values will just show up. This is the event view. So as you can see, the trend over the top indicates the severity of the scanners. As you can see, both are 100%. So these are on the top. So both needs an immediate attention. You can just have a look like for the monthly, or you can just go back to the hourly. So based on that, data will be populated. Yeah. So and you can even use the sliding to navigate here and there. You can just filter out, like if you want to address only the SP1, just select the SP1 and check the SP2, and you will be having only the SP1 sensors associated with it. Then you can just expand it, and then you have a view of each and every sensor signals. You can just browse through the sensor zero gap, and you can see it was out of range almost one time in this hourly. So hourly only one time of standards will come. So for the B specific, I will just go to the weekly view. So we have enough data to see. So now we'll go again back to the sensor zero gap. So it says 168 times. As you can see, the service port is being configured for the plus minus 10. So normally it should be more than that. That's why it's triggering most of the times. Even if it is configured for the nominal value and range, then those values will be captured accordingly. In this case, we do have a monitoring for the scanner as well. Like if you want to monitor about the far scan limit, home scan limit, measure limit, far manual scan limit, SSB temperatures at 12 volt of plus minus, these also can be monitored. See, these are the out of range values which you are getting. The values were 35 plus minus 15. The another view is the track view. So track view, event view, how it looks like. As you can see, again, it's a trend over here, which signifies during which time how many violations has been recorded. So high priorities violations are like between 20 to 25. So it's 25. It's like the medium severity is having like almost 5, and the low severity is almost having 4. So this also having a selectable time periods. You can have like how many type of high related track rules were triggered, how many medium related, and which one is the low one, and how many times it's been triggered. we do have a summary of the track rules which has been triggered recently. So it generally prioritizes which action needs to be taken on the priority. So how these track views are configured, like you can go to just a configure a track rule. Just we need to click on new. Then you can see any track rule, like if you want to monitor a basis weight AIS voltage. So you can just put basis weight AIS voltage is greater than or is less than 2.4. So you put a comment basis weight voltage is less than 2.4. You put some recommended action, source need replacement within next 3 months. So you can put it as a high priority triggers. Like when we have more conditions, I will show you an example. So here we will select the below threshold, then we will select the SP1, we can select the weight sensor. Here we can select the data. So it's AIS, so it shows like 2.4 value here, and you can put number of events 2, 3, 4 or 5. What it signifies is like if the successive number of events are 4, then only you will get a proactive alert. If those are less than 4 and the alert goes above 2.4, then those will get reset. So if you have a 3 standards which are below or more than 2.4, in case of 3, then only you will get an alert. Otherwise these rules will not be calculated. Or if you want with a single you should get an alert, then you should create it. Even you can test it during the test range. Just run test one, and once you test, it says it did not trigger during this time period. So it is not less than 2.4. So it was always at 2.4. Even you can create one more condition just to see value decreased SP1 as the same weight sensor. You can put a data, you can put AIS create. So whenever there is a decrement in the value, you will get a alert. So as you can see, as we have selected here all, so both should get triggered, then only you will get an alert. In that case, if any one of the triggered, you will not get an alert. So you can do it like any, and the end will change to or. So any of one should get triggered to give you an alert. Then just save it, and you have a alert here configured. So it's not required to have it there for the long time. You can just deactivate it once your purpose is solved. And even if you want to configure it, you can just configure it again, or you can change the dates. You will see how many times this alert has been triggered, or you can delete it at the later stage as well. So this is how parity view looks like. So these are based on the results, the triggers what we have created, what are the configuration we have done. So as you can see, this is the high one, this is the medium, this is having the low priority. So the high priority needs an immediate attention and it's been triggered more than 150 times during this time range. So it needs an immediate attention and this activity has to be carried out fastly. So we do have a log view. So log view will give the log. It's just like an events. Every time it occurs, you will get an event over here. And you can just browse through to see what with the timeline when it's been triggered and what was the priority and what is the description. Even if you see, you will get the recommended action like call ABB engineers, or it was like something related to take some necessary action. You need a replacement. This recommended action can be configured here. There is a one more way to create a track rule. Like if you don't want to create it from directly from the configuration view, you can directly create it from here. Just create an open track wizard, and then you have a direct access. So when the CV8 is below threshold, then again you can give the value of the threshold is like 60 and number of conditions like it's the same, it's a 5, then you can create it and then you can put some name and description here. Rule 1 is less than specified limit. Rule for s. Say the rules is created. So you can even see this rule on the configuration view as well. So this is the one which is we have created right now. And the last one is the report view. So report is like you can just put a date from which date to which date you want, then the details you need to fill. Then if you don't want to all the sensors to be included, then you can put some basis weight sensor. If you want to just monitor the basis weight sensor, then just get the report. You will get some progress and it will ask for the location. Just create on the desktop, then some. It may take some 4 to 5 minutes to reports to get generated. Once the report is generated, you will have a view and you can just add some actionable items and it can be submitted to the end customers. So there is a one more way how to set up the alerts. So this is the way how you will see on the dashboards. But if you want to set up the alerts for the email, then you can just directly go here and you can see all the results of the track of the proactive alerts which has been triggered. And then you can go to the track settings. You can give customer details here and based on that you can set the alerts. Even if you want to disable those alerts, you can do it from here as well. Just go to the QCS VP channel. There is no rule, sorry for this. If we go for the QCS sensor stability channels, okay, so like if you go for the any of the channels like low performance, if you go, you can set the alert for the SE8 no signal, then you can just subscribe for this and you can just put, then you need a daily access, then you can put a email address and then you are good to go with the sensor. Then you can just subscribe and then subscribe to one rule will get created. So you will get an alert related to this signals. So this is how it looks like. So see the pop-up window has come up which shows the report has been generated. And this is the data logger session. As you can see, this is the SP1 which has been created for the SP1 and this is for the SP2. So if you have five scanners, the 5 sessions needs to be created which will triggers when the standardize happens. Okay, thanks for attending. Thank you all.